It's that time again on a Friday, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, staying on schedule. I've got a pretty good winning streak going on here. I don't remember the last time I had a Friday off, to be honest with you. I don't know how it would feel. I also am very aggressive on making sure that this topic remains relevant and remains on everybody's minds. And so for 60 minutes, the fastest 60 minutes on YouTube, we provide an awareness piece to the subscriber base as well as new visitors to the channel. If you are new to the channel, we do this every Friday. This is just one of many, many offerings that I provide to give folks an idea about a topic that I think deserves more attention. I really do. I think people need to spend way more time putting this a little bit higher of a priority on their list. Okay. I really think there needs to be more people like myself advocating for what I feel is the correct way of investing. I think there's way too much groupthink going on. That's for sure. I posted to my Viper group just today, speaking a little bit about the influences out there and how those influences, unfortunately, drive a lot of our decision making. And unfortunately, when it does creep over into the investing world, I just cringe. I really do. Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this investing gig? Are we doing it to seek out those short-term injects in the market so we can avoid all negative emotional reaction and just continue to expect that stocks are going to do exactly what we tell them to do when we tell them to do it? I've got a great show tonight planned. Obviously, guys, it is open to guest time. I'm completely prepared to run this live stream myself. I do, in fact, want to engage with my audience. One of my absolute favorite things to do is to come on here and acknowledge you kind folks. The word independent was very, very special to me. It made sense to me to name the Independent Investor channel as such because this initiative is only made possible by you guys. I made another statement this morning, which I meant wholeheartedly. If this method of investing and getting people excited about the prospects of wealth building and maybe paying a little more attention to your budget and maybe scaling back on a little bit of discipline and not buying so much crap in your life, right? Just being happy to be alive and everything else is a bonus, okay? The more time you spend with me, you guys are going to understand that I am an extremely happy man, extremely happy. I kind of take an all good approach to life, and I expect you to do the same. Why is that? It's because all those things tie into each other. They really do. And the more you can understand that, the better steward you can be, not only over your investing psychology, your approach, but to life in general. Absolutely. So I want to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you guys for providing me this opportunity to talk about my absolute favorite topic. Had a comment come through the channel today, and it was very, very heartfelt, really was. And it's everything that I don't want my message to be construed on. And here's why. I said I've got X number in the portfolio, whatever, and I'll run these banners so you guys can see. X number of amount in the portfolio built on a blue collar salary. And the person came back to me and said, you know, Ryan, I am a blue collar salary worker, but I just don't understand how it is that I'm expected to have a portfolio the size of yours when I'm just working on a blue collar salary. I don't get it. There's a disconnect here. And I'm very, very open and transparent with my starting amount in those accounts. Some people will start with 500. Some people will start with 10,000. I, for one, specifically started with $1,500 in my account. And what gets missed sometimes is when we drop YouTube content and people come on and maybe they get discouraged and they look at a portfolio like myself. I typically put that stuff aside and I really don't put a whole lot of value in it, other than the fact that I've built up from nothing to what it is now that I have. So when people look at that and they're like, you know what, I don't know if I could ever prescribe to that type of investing. What gives? I don't understand how you got there. What people really need to understand about me is that I'm very, very serious about investing. I put it as a super high priority. In other words, I don't justify just blowing all my money, and I don't justify spending my money on things that I don't need. As a matter of fact, the older I get, the more emphasis that I put on things that don't require any money, honestly. And I just dropped a podcast last week, I believe. For you guys that have not caught my podcast, I highly recommend you kick over and check that out. I talked about 5 things that you can improve upon that can absolutely improve your life. What are the 5 things that are the most important things in life? I talk about things like health. I talk about things like diet. I talk about things like relationships and family. And then finally, I talk about how those things tie into the wealth building exercise that we come together all the time and talk about. And it's a lot of fun. So really, really important for you guys to understand my priority that I put on that. But man alive, I certainly don't want people to misconstrue the message to say, if you follow my program, you're going to have my results. That's not the idea. And my response to the individual was also very, very heartfelt. And I said, look, I started with $25. If there are people out there that cannot find that $25 in the budget, then earmark it as a goal, right? Be fair. But if you got to make sure that you're not justifying why you can't do this because you don't want to do it. Okay? Your success is going to be indicative of your ability to look in the mirror and make this a higher priority in your life. And I think a lot of people justify investing in a lot of different ways, man. A lot of people are looking for short-term validation. That's for sure. That's been demonstrating itself specifically. I was asked to comment on highly on it as an investment, and in 4 words, I'm going to hang with Dana. To be honest with you guys, we're off 20 bits on this stock. Highly volatile stock. It's a new company. It's just moving into its own, and the stock market is trying to price the company. How much value do I put in the stock being at 50 1 week or 2 weeks ago or a month ago, and now it's at 30? You want to know how much value I put in that? Zero. If you guys are tuning in to me for the first time and this type of deliberation scares you, listen up, because you have to get a thicker skin about this gig. You really do. And your prospects, your decisions long-term that you've made about a specific company should never, ever be influenced by short-term fluctuations in stock. If you're looking for that as your justification for your stock moves, you are going to be sorely disappointed in this gig. Sorely disappointed. And it's one of those things that I find all the time. People are always trying to jump to the end result. The end result for me is the portfolio. Now, if you're ill prepared to build a portfolio, it's almost as if you're starting with the roof first, instead of starting with the foundation of the house. It's almost like trying to build a pyramid by building the top of the pyramid as opposed to building the base of the pyramid first. My foundation has been built for a lot of years. And if I can just give you a little bit of insight, a little bit of motivation from my playbook, start with the foundation first. You'll be so much glad, so much happier that you did. Because I think so many people, they want to jump right into the portfolio, and maybe they're over-levered. Maybe it's not the right strategy. Maybe the products in there are indicative of one that is extremely over-allocated, and they don't even know about it. They can't explain to me what allocation is. I think that's extremely unfortunate. Case in point, Hyliion. Again, I've been frequenting the Hyliion group just because I'm actually looking for comments that are smart in nature. But I'm finding a lot of comments in there, and it's amazing how the mood shifts. Okay, and you'll see it. Mark my words, on the Independent Investor channel. Once the tone starts to change in the stock market, I'll have people specifically come on the channel and really, really start to get nasty, right? Everything's fairly good right now. Just in March of this year, we went through one of the worst downturns in the market, one of the most violent downturns in the market. We were sitting at about 18.2 on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Right now, we're sitting at about 28,000. Market's at a fairly good high. We're in that calm before the storm, before the election hits, right? So everything is hunky-dory, okay? Again, it kind of comes back to that short-sighted justification that people get out of just looking at, as long as things are hunky-dory, then they can justify their position in the market. Let me tell you what, guys, you're really going to have to work on your tolerance to the market. And I'm not asking you to do something that I don't do, okay? Your tolerance needs to be a continual evolution going forward, and it'll never stop. It won't, okay? You'll always be looking for that continual evolution as an investor. And trust me, my thesis around Hyliion has not changed. My bull case, my price targets. Now, does that mean my price targets are going to be realized next month because I have a thesis about the stock? No, there's no guarantee of that coming to a reality until it actually happens, right? But again, just because my thesis didn't work out in the short term doesn't mean that I can't continue to exercise my stock and my stock ownership and my right to hold the stock and exercise a little bit of discipline. And I can do that because I've got a significant buffer in my portfolio. But for these folks that have taken their entire life savings and dumped it into Hyliion, we can't save everybody. And I see this on a broader scale. I really do. I see misapplication on a broader scale. And a lot of you guys maybe hopefully have made your way in here that are new to investing. Maybe you don't want to comment, but you are the folks that I am in fact speaking to, because if I can empower one investor at a time, those new investors that are coming on and they're just looking for a little bit of granularity around how you can start. I'm going to give you 5 action items on how you can actually start this thing, and it won't cost you a dime. So let's see how serious you are about just listening and taking in these 5 things. First thing is you need to look at your spending and you need to look at your budget. It's free of charge, okay? You have X number of inflows. I don't know what you make. I don't know if you make $800 a month. I don't know if you make $8,000. It doesn't matter. I've seen people who are complete disaster on both sides of the house. Folks that make a ton of money and they're a disaster. I've seen people who make $800 a month and they're phenomenal investors. So don't think for a second that I give any type of free pass to the wealthy or the big money. I don't even know what that means anymore, because you can be successful no matter what. The second is you need to learn. Learning will cost you nothing. And it just takes coming in here for the fastest 60 minutes on YouTube. Great. Listen to me rant about stock investing philosophy, what I do. Okay. I leave no stone unturned. I let it all out. I tell you guys exactly what I do. Okay. But you need to learn, and learning is going to help you understand what you're signing up for. Okay. It's not all roses. Okay. I'm going to give you a little secret. Not every stock that you buy is going to go up every single day without ever having a down day. Not going to happen. Learn about those things. Have fair expectations about the market. I've said this many, many times, right? Learn. Cost you nothing. Okay. The next thing is to start an account. If you're serious about investing, eventually you're going to have to start an account, and eventually you're going to have to invest your money. Okay. I hate to use the word invest. Most of you guys know that I make it synonymous and I try to avoid it, like diet investing. I like wealth building. Okay. To start on a wealth building path, you're eventually going to have to start an account. And yes, you will actually have to put some capital to risk. Okay. And that may scare a lot of people. If that scares you, go back to your budget and go back to learning. Learning, you're going to understand the power of compounding interest, because if investing was a futile game, nobody would do it. In other words, if it was set up for planned failure, then nobody would do it, right? People would do it, and especially in this environment. But there is a lot of wealth to be gained, and there's wealth to be gained for all people. The stock market doesn't discriminate, okay? It doesn't acknowledge how emotionally you enter the game. Trust me, Okay. Doesn't matter. My shares of Hyliion are owned just the same, right next to people who don't know the first foggiest thing about why the company is an awesome industrial technology company, right? It doesn't matter. The difference between my holdings and their holdings is nothing, okay? The education just helps me deal with what we're going through now better than the average Joe, okay? All right. Next is to justify. Ask yourself, why is it that you're investing in the stock market, man? You have to be able to answer this for yourself. Are you investing for generational wealth? Great. Are you investing to build a firm and financially secure future for you and your family? Right on, do it. I think you guys would be really, really encouraged as to my financial goals. They're really simple. And the funny thing is, at 43 or at 23, I'm an extremely happy man. I know I'll be happy at 65. I know I'll be happy at 85. And I'll also be happy at 105 as well when I reach that age. It's not going to have the first freaking thing to do about money. Trust me, it's not. Okay. But justify why it is that you're investing and really be honest with yourself in setting up those financial goals that we talk about. This goes lockstep with justifying why you're entering into the stock market in the first place. Okay. The last thing in the 5 items for action that you can take if you're a new investor is to allocate. Okay. I can justify every reason under the sun to own Hyliion. I can also justify under the sun how most people shouldn't own it. Okay. Now, if you come to me and you're like, Ryan, I studied up on it. I think it's a great opportunity. I would agree with you. Okay. Ryan, I really want to invest in the company, even though I don't have a very good base in the company. I have a very high risk tolerance to risk, but I want to take a position. Great. Now let's talk about scale. Okay, you've decided that this investment makes sense for you. Now you want to step into this company and be an investor. Go from the sidelines to becoming an investor in this fine company. You're happy. You're going to hold the shares long, 5, 10 years down the line. When we see hyper trucks driving all over the road, it's going to be awesome, right? Buy 10 shares. Buy 10. I saw a post in the group tonight that all of their life savings was dumped on the stock at $50 a share. Nobody in the stock market or nobody in a Facebook group is going to provide you any type of out. Okay. They always talk about you making the most sound decisions in your investing career that you can make. You are, in fact, responsible for the investing decisions that you make. And unfortunately, there is no minor leagues to investing. Okay. There's only the major leagues. And this is the major leagues. Okay. This is high dollar stuff. Putting multiple thousands of dollars to risk with the prospects of potentially making money and with the prospects of potentially losing money. Something that helps me is to look at the size of my investment and ask myself, am I willing to take this stock into a worst case scenario? In other words, is the risk worth the reward? Okay. Risk being I lose everything. Okay. Would I be happy? No. Hopefully, the due diligence that I did on that will somewhat put some of the odds on my favor, okay, with a particular position. And this does not just apply to the big position, but I know I was bullish on the company, and I know there's been some people asking me about it as well. But this applies across the board, okay? Run yourself through. I've done many videos on the rule of thumb when you ask yourself, if you're a beginning investor and you have your first $500 or $1,000 to invest, and you're worried about the election, and you're worried about this, and you're worried about that, and you're worried, if you take that entire $1,000 of life savings, it has very little chance of succeeding in the stock market. And here's why. Because the first sign of instability in the market, you're going to freak out and you're out. Why don't you take a different approach and take 20% of that money, $200? Take $800 and put it into your savings account, assuming that your savings account has $0 in it, right? Start the account for free, like I said, and start an account with a couple $100 to risk, right? You see how this works? You see how you're setting yourself up for success? Now you go back to the multiple faceted approach to this and looking at your budget and parsing out a nice $25 allotment that you can put into the market every single month. Now it alleviates the ups and downs of the market. Joe Biden wins the presidency 2020. Donald Trump wins the presidency 2020. I don't really care, to be honest with you. I do not care. I care about this much, actually, right? And every school of thought will tell you exactly the same. If you guys find a book out there that can point to political uncertainty as being a long-term catalyst for the stock market, I'd love to see it, because it's absolutely to the contrary, not to make your investing decisions based on anything short term, especially a presidential election. I do just acknowledge that it is out there, and I would forewarn everybody to expect a little bit of volatility no matter what the results, no matter what. Okay. But does it change our long-term thesis? No, I don't think so. All right. And it's the right way to approach the market. If I came onto YouTube and I started jumping up and down and telling you that the world was coming to an end and everything was going to hell or high water, I think I'd probably build my channel a heck of a lot quicker, because it would be exciting, certainly. But I would be playing into all of the propaganda that I am so avidly fighting against. And I'm fighting against that as an ambassador for you guys. Okay. I'm doing it for the people who look at those injects and look at the propaganda, and they don't know where to start. They're confused. You want to know why you're confused? Because it's confusing. Yeah. Right. So a different approach is to look at your own capability and your own ability, block out all that noise, focus on those things that are going to foster an environment for you to think with a clear head and not get caught up on all the garbage. Okay. I don't know what's going to happen with Hyliion. I have no idea. Maybe it goes to 20. I think it's basing at 30. Doesn't really matter. I don't know. People who say that they know are full of crap. My thesis was very, very simple. The stock's going to 85 to 110. Whether or not that happens next week or next year or 2 years down the line, I could really care less. Because if it does happen next year, I'll take that rate of return, 20% rate of return on my money. I'm happy with that. Okay. But you guys need to understand the risk versus the reward before we are taking those positions. And it's amazing to me how we keep falling victim to the same bad habits in the market, always getting caught up in the short-term euphoria of the ups. Everything's great. Let's invest and just pile all of our money. Let's buy everything on credit. Let's just ask for all the credit we can, and we can just pile onto this market. Why? Because it feels good. And then when there's one little hiccup of volatility in the market, and the market starts to do something that we didn't think that it was going to do, what? It's doing something that I don't think it's going to do? That's not, nobody said that that was possible. I'm telling you, it's possible. Okay. I've said this for years on the channel. You can go back and check my record. I'm very, very crystal clear on this, and I'm crystal clear, and I repeat it multiple times because I'm right. I am right on this point. The stock market does one of two things. It does go up, and it also goes down. The secret is to prepare for both and profit for it. Very cool, guys. I want to jump in here to some of the guests. Actually, since I'm running the live stream tonight, I can actually point out some folks as well. Very cool. I don't know why StreamYard cuts off some of my stuff from the very beginning. I do apologize for that. But Stephen A. Dare says the first live stream I've caught in some time. I know a lot of people play it back after the fact, but it's kind of cool to watch it live stream because it's always interesting what this guy has to say. I'm kind of interested in that because I never know what I'm going to say. Never know. Never know, man. I don't script this stuff. I just come on and rap. That's it. That there's a big need for us to break down barriers to the investing topic. And I think a lot of people get really caught up in the emotional piece, and investing is freaking fun. Investing is fun, man. It can be humbling and it can be challenging. Just like a sport that you need to master. Try playing golf, man. Golf is a lot like investing. Okay. You got to break it down. Lifting weights. challenging yourself to live a better life and eat a better diet. It's all related. The way you approach other aspects of your life is going to be indicative of your success with those other activities. Why should investing be any different? If you want to hang your coattails on the success of a specific group, and because that group think is really, really strong, and you want to build your conviction about a position in a specific stock based on that conviction, you will lose. You will lose, and you will lose big. You will lose big. I know my brother, he agrees with me. Shout out to JMac Investing as well, who gave an awesome live stream with me. Thank you again, Jason, as well. Really appreciate it. That was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to talk about. You know, nobody's talking about the fact that I'd like this price in this Hyliion stock to stay low for the warrants, to be honest with you. This could be a blessing in disguise, and I can't wait to convert my warrants 1st of November. That's just me. What the hell do I know? I don't know. Jesus, everybody wants to bitch and complain that they have no money to feed their family because they over levered to a stock that doesn't have earnings right now. Jesus, guys, got to get perspective on this gig. We really do, right? It's amazing how the expectations are so ill-founded when we buy a stock. Okay, buying a stock. It's one of the most powerful things we can do to participate in the wealth of a J&J, to participate in the new pharmaceutical drugs that come to bear, to participate in Bristol Myers Squibb, right? Turning out those cancer drugs that are working so hard to cure those ailments, man, to participate in the diversified suite of businesses that 3M has, to participate in the consumer goods that we use every single day from Procter & Gamble, to participate in the triple net lease of realty income. To participate in the stock market is nothing less than a luxury. It's nothing less. And I'd be falling over myself if I wasn't an investor and I came into my channel for the first time. I'd be falling all over myself, man, to get myself started, because everything that I talk about when I summarize and really build a thesis around why we invest, it's all true. It's all true. Okay. And I want you to make it true for you. That's the key. Make it make sense to you. Okay. And if it doesn't quite make sense to you, and still after some deliberation, you're like, man, I don't know, it'll be just my luck to invest in Xerox. It'll be just my luck to invest in a GoPro. And it does happen. The way you can damper some of those fears on the stock market by just dabbling your toe in, but stop making excuses as to why you want to remain a non-investor. Okay. We're trying to get you over that last little step and step you into a much larger world of perspective and a lot bigger world of discipline. It really is. And it's going to make the least amount of sense to you when you start investing. And that is when you're the most vulnerable. It really is. It's like a brand new company. Everybody's taking pop shots at Hyliion right now, right? It's a beginning company. It's in its inception. Do you think Dana's freaking out? No. Do you think Mr. Healy's freaking out? No. Do you think Mr. Knight's freaking out? No. Think Mr. Card's freaking out? No. None of them are freaking out. The only idiots that are freaking out right now are the idiots that were setting themselves up for planned failure anyway. And quite frankly, good riddance to those people. We don't need them in the stock anyway. I don't wish ill will on anybody, but if you are ill prepared to enter the stock market in any capacity, I'd go back and I would recheck your program. Get yourself right, okay? Because whether it be now or whether it be down the line, you'll fail with this wishy-washy application that you think you have, or you think because you stumbled into a group that's really, really excited about a stock that you can get excited too. And that's the deep dive. That's the due diligence that we talk about that you need before entering into a stock. Jesus Christ. Got to be kidding me, man. Forgive me. Cruising down the list, man. Cashmatic says 2 hours tonight. Hell, I could go for 6 hours, man. It's all good. I went for about 30 minutes last night on my very first CEO interview. It was pretty awesome. folks are establishing and I can talk about it now because it's live. I just posted it for Blue Lagoon Resources. Very cool guy, man. He's working a mine up in British Columbia. Beautiful country. I used to take the Inner Passage up there when I used to en route from Seattle up to Ketchikan there in Alaska. It's a beautiful country, but those folks are up there working a mine. And really cool interview, man. If you enjoy, those types of discussions, I just dropped the podcast tonight. So for you guys that enjoy that content, put it on when you're traveling and check that out. It was an awesome interview. I mean, when the heck else would you have the opportunity to sit across from a CEO and rap with them? I would have never met this individual if it hadn't been for the Independent Investor channel. And I pay homage to the people that this channel is built around, and that is you. You think I would have been able to win an interview like that if I had 300 subscribers? Nah, man. Nah. Am I a different person now that I have 25,300 subscribers? Nope. Still the same ornery fella. Actually, I'm quite nice, to be honest with you. But those opportunities are kind of unfolding a little bit and looking to take advantage of those opportunities. I'm a student of the game, so I'm interested to sit across from another CEO with the experience of Mr. Vig. It was intriguing, man. It was a lot of fun for me. I was like a kid in a candy store, but I'm kind of a dork like that. I like the financial topic and I like to live and learn. Just like what I did, I think last week, I popped on to Matt and Kyle's live stream. Why? Because I love the topic. I actually think my content was better on theirs than it was on mine for the first 60 minutes. But go figure. I don't know. I had a bourbon in my hand for theirs. So had a lot of fun. But got frame of mind in the house, man. Very cool. Thank you. It's great to see you, my friend. Advocating for those folks that want to make their way into the message and empower their own lives. Pretty simple. It's amazing to me how people need to work on their fitness. Okay. And when I discussed a new investor being as ill prepared as they will ever be in the stock market when they go from a non-investor to an investor, it's amazing to me how people will jump into a stock for 2 or 3 weeks and then it's like, God, I can't take this, man. It's out. And they always look for a scapegoat. And I think it comes down to maybe buyer's remorse a little bit in that when you have that euphoria, when you buy into a stock, the discipline is when the euphoria wears off and you're stuck holding a stock that maybe you did research on, maybe you don't, but the conviction starts to wear off over time and you start to look for a scapegoat. You start to look for any piece of information that you can gravitate to and say, aha, I'm going to make a decision because I was wrong initially. And I'm looking for that scapegoat to rationalize my way off of a particular offering. Okay. The real inherent lesson in there is to understand how important it is to work on your fitness, but understand that fitness is going to come from actually investing in the stock market itself. I can't manufacture that lesson for you. Okay. I can provide you that testimonial. I can show you, tell you in many ways how I react to certain price movements in stock, etc. But you're going to have to figure that out for yourself. You really are. And no financial planner is going to be able to take or alleviate that from you. Okay. By being naive about your program, that also doesn't alleviate you and get you off the hook. I honestly would rather see you not invest. I really would. Invest in your 401k, get the company match, grab some free money, and you're good to go. Okay. Don't sell out. Don't sell the farm. Okay. We as retail investors need to stick up not only for ourselves, but we need to stick up for each other. And another very, very core root goal of mine is to advocate for individuals, those individuals that may not have ever been turned on to the prospects of investing. I do that through my reach. Okay. One person that makes their way to the message, that shares it with 5 family members, that's a success in my mind. Has nothing to do with anything other than sharing the message with the strength of a referral, because it's very, very empowering to get direct connected to the stock market free of charge. It's empowering. Okay. That's why I do this channel. If I just came out and had a financial channel and just came out and talked about stocks and blah, blah, blah on YouTube, I wouldn't want to do this. There are a dime a dozen now. I've got better things to do with my time, but I very, very rarely come across a content creator that speaks along this vein the way I do. So we're going to continue to beat the drum on it until people start to really, really get it. And I said this morning on my Viper group that success on this channel and success within this community exists with you. If you can't take this information, if I can't teach this information, if it cannot be scaled to the individual investor and be duplicated many, many thousands of times over, then what are we doing? I'm not looking to strike up a chat group. I'm not looking to just come on for social acceptance. I could really care less about that, to be honest with you. I'm looking to exploit a topic that I don't think enough people talk about. And I really think we need to look to continue to break down these barriers on this topic, man. It's super, super important. Want to give a shout out to Lydia as well, one of the originals on the Independent Investor channel. Since we have expanded our featured channels, Lydia is one of my featured channels again. I had to cycle through a little bit, and I felt bad about it, to be honest with you. But I only had so many slots, and there's a lot of people, good folks that I wanted to cycle through there as well, and endorse and help grow as well. But Lydia's always been there for me, and I'm glad to have her back on that as well. So very, very cool. I do want to talk about emotion as well. I've got a note here to talk about how we're always succumbing to that emotional inject that we have. I've since recently shut off my television, and that's helped, really has. I don't know what's going on in the world. I don't know. If there's anything going on that I need to be aware of, would you guys be so kind as to throw it in the thread for me? Like if I need to duck, or if I need to take shelter, or if I need to go get my vaccine. I don't know. Never been this liberated, never been this happy in my life. I highly encourage you to do so, man. It'll cost you nothing. It'll save you a truckload, and you'll be healthier for it. It's just amazing to me how I was really seeking out news, but it's amazing how many people don't want to tell the truth anymore. So I shut it off, and I'm super happy for it. It's amazing how much time you have in your day when you're not being consumed by that garbage. It's awesome. All good in the group, man. Our spiritual leader, our Zen, absolutely. Mr. Ben, fantastic. Nice to see you, my friend. Thanks for making your way in. It's a hell of a picture. It's probably up at Big Bear Lake, I would imagine, or Lake Tahoe, one of the two. Very cool. All right. Slow but still learning. I'm on time today. Fantastic. Appreciate you making your way on. Hope you're getting some value and motivation out of the content. 60 minutes, I can only pack so much action into this. And in an environment like investing that just really does call for your ability to stay steadfast on your program, I always try to generate these weekly conversations and these weekly topics based around what I see in the market. And most of the time, I just kind of smile or cringe based on what I see. I hope you're getting something out of the message, man. Very cool. Had a long week, so it's time to relax and enjoy the live stream. Fantastic. Glad you're making your way in. I want that enjoyment to be real. I want it to be because you're taking the message and you're building wealth, especially if you wouldn't have done so had you not made your way to the message. Super important. All right. That's the only real payment that I ever need is when people come back and they're like, hey man, thanks for the motivation. Really appreciate it. I'm here. I would have never been there had it not been for a little bit of encouragement. And I always call it like connecting the dots because I'm just a regular hardworking fella who invests. That's it. So if I can help you connect the dots in that capacity for you, it's very, very cool. Ryan reveals his 100% SPAC portfolio. I love it. Fantastic. I love the sense of humor, man. That's what we need more of, to be honest with you. Yeah, to be honest with you, the two SPACs I have right now, the one is they're still looking, but I did declare the stocks to you guys. I'll declare them again if you want. It's no big deal. Here's an updated portfolio. This is the account. We're able to do this now. The product is a little bit better because I pay an arm and a leg for this. It's actually pretty freaking expensive. I wish StreamYard would give us a little bit better discount because, man, we showcase this through YouTube, and man, I don't think they give us a whole hell of a lot of love. But I had to throw in the towel and step up to the big time when JMac Investing came on last Friday. I wasn't going to be that freebie guy. You know what I mean? Hey, I can only be so cheap so long. But if you look here, portfolio really hasn't changed much, to be honest with you. I haven't done a whole lot, but the last two that you see there, SMPRU and then the Hyliion warrants. That's it. That's all I have in the brokerage. And then the Roth number one, that's where the big. I think I'm off maybe 10 from the highs, 10 or 15 from the high. I don't know. When you own such a big position in it. But yeah, there's Hyliion. It's nice to see that the stock has transitioned. That was a big win for me, getting it through merger. That was huge. I mean, it could have been voted down. Hell, I don't know. I thought it was a big milestone. I'm going to celebrate for a couple of weeks. I don't really care what the stock does, to be honest with you. And then here's mine. So you can take a look at the holdings. You can throw tomatoes at me if you'd like. VYM is the biggest holding in there. And then we've got the foreign dividend holder, VNQ. That's the passive aspect. And then the Hyliion warrants. That's it. It's not magic. It's just stock. That's it. But I'd like to enter into next November, beginning of November, and get those converted over. That's the next milestone for me. I'm not looking for any type of validation from a Facebook group to justify my decisions on where I think this company's going. Again, I'm going to stick with Dana, and I think Jason agrees with me on this, man. Those guys know what they're doing. They've got an initial investment to 15 million on the company. These guys are. There's a crazy good article that just was released today about Dana and why they invested in Hyliion and why they're helping them as an OEM. That's an original equipment manufacturer. For you guys that don't know what OEM is, basically they own the assembly line that's going to help integrate Hyliion's product, et cetera, et cetera. The question was, why don't these companies just do it them damn selves, right? Why do they need Hyliion to do it? It's not how it works, man. These guys are rooted in and they do their logistics business very, very well. And what Dana said, is that they would like to do a lot of things to expand their business. But every time you look to expand a piece of your business, it takes time, it takes expertise, it takes resources, it takes R&D. So when somebody comes along like Hyliion, and it was interesting enough, it wasn't just about the axle and the electric support and the prospects going forward with the ARX. It wasn't about that. It was about the data. Okay, make no mistake, Hyliion is a technology company. Okay, it's the ability to use algorithmic technology to record that data, send it to the cloud, and make a smarter truck. That's what it is. It's about reading the terrain before the truck embarks on its journey. Smart. Okay, that's why they invested in the company. And again, I would rather trust the expertise of Dana, because what's going on the manufacturing lines, what's going on the OEMs with Dana and some of these other companies like Wegmans, who are putting the company to work, Ideale's putting the company to work. Okay, I'm with these guys. Okay, I'm not really with the whole investor group. I do frequent it, man, but I'm like a black sheep. I don't understand it, man. And if they saw me in there with the comments that I make, they're so like different than everybody else makes. It's just like what they're talking about. And I don't mean to be an asshole. It's just irrelevant. It freaking doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It freaking doesn't matter. I just don't get it, man. They should come over and join my independent investor community, man. They can hang out with us and you guys for a bit and be wiser for it, man. Holy smokes. Sleep a lot easier at night too, man. Calm down. It's just stock market investing, man. You know, it's not going to make you a better person. It's not going to make your genitalia bigger. It's not. It's just stock investing. That's all it is. Calm down. Very cool. Very cool, very cool. Got retire with options here, man. Very cool. He says, laugh out. Yeah, he liked that genitalia joke, man. Absolutely. I still got to keep it good for the children, right? So they'll advertise on my live stream. But I think you guys, I'm about in fourth or fifth gear for the live stream. If I shifted up to sixth, it would be really funny one of these times because you guys should see me when I really get on my rant. This is pretty controlled. All right. Very cool. Got Alex in the house of Blood Phantom. Very cool. I'm not sure if there's a right way to invest, but there are certainly wrong way. And that's a freaking good point, man. And this cat knows investing, right? This cat's carved out a very, very interesting strategy for himself. Little more difficult. And it goes to the point with Blood Phantom, with Alex's channel and mine as well. I don't want people coming in and being like, I want to copy that because he seemingly is successful with it. Man, you're freaking missing the point. Start slow. Give yourself a fighting chance. Identify your strategy. Okay, I think everybody should start as a passive investor. I really do. Buy an ETF and spend your time doing other things. Okay, read some investing books while you're a passive investor. It'll get you off the sideline, but you do not need to just jump in and try to duplicate a highly advanced strategy. Okay, like mine. I have a lot of buffer. I have a lot of house money I'm playing with. Okay. That's why I can give away $15,000 of profit, or people would say, man, you lost. No, I didn't. I didn't lose a thing. I'm freaking fine. Get out of my face. If you want to talk about advanced investing strategies, come and talk to me. That's fine. But you need to get your head right. It's just not that hard, guys. I'm trying to streamline. I'm trying to give you 25 years of experience and streamline it for you. Do you take the red pill or do you take the blue pill? That's it. Very simple. Okay. I'm trying to streamline it for you. Okay. You take the blue pill and you end up a nice savvy investor, and you can streamline this process and not make a lot of the mistakes that I made. Okay. Earlier on in the game. I wish I would have done that. I wish I would have just entered into a passive routine as well. And that would have been my baseline for the rest of my life. Now, I kind of have a very, very strong affinity for dividend growth investing, but I'm currently on an initiative to build up my passive base again. And I do that every month. I'm happy with it, but where there's work to be done, that's typically where I focus on my portfolio, is what I don't have, not necessarily what I have, and how I can somehow look for that scapegoat that I talked about. I just don't think that way, man. I'm always looking to improve. I'm a wealth builder, okay? Not a deconstructor. I don't know. That's where I am. That's for sure. Very cool. Scrolling through the comments here, guys. Jesus, there's a lot of comments. I wish these comments would come in. If you guys could do me a rockin' favor, man, because I don't get to address all these comments, man. I sit here for an hour before the live stream pretty much, and I should just kick off the live stream at 8 o'clock because I'm in here chilling. And if you guys have the extra time, man, don't think that you have to sit and wait till 9 o'clock to come in and rap with me, man. Come on. It's very cool. Got Mr. Lopez, one of my Vipers. Absolutely. Viper stands for VIP. Okay. Just so you guys are wondering, and it just sounds freaking cool. I just think it's cool just because the WhatsApp group is cool. Absolutely. I'll be doing a hard rollout this weekend. And we did pick up a couple more affiliate opportunities. I know Jason is with Stock Rover as well. I am as well. So I'll be coming out with that tutorial, Stock Rover. That'll be a hard rollout, as well as the hard rollout of my independentinvestorgroup.com. Those are all queued up. Those are all edited. Those are all ready to go. But I wanted to release the interview with the CEO tonight. Hey, no big deal. You know what I'm saying? I just think it's cool. I'm tickled pink, man. What can I say? I just think it's cool. Freaking A, you know? Normal people along the way are like, you're doing what? It's no big deal, man. I got to deliver a message to my crew here about an interview that I've got with a CEO. Very cool stuff, man. It's a lot of fun. Hope you guys find value in it. I know there's going to be people who don't like it and they get pissed off at me because I'm trying to expand my niche a little bit. For the original gangsters, they're fine. I know I can always trust in them. If you don't like it, leave. I really don't want to appeal to those people that are looking to be entertained or looking for me to like make money for them or that. I won't do that. Sorry. I'm looking to teach you how to make money for you. Yeah. pretty noble goal as far as I'm concerned, man. And I sleep easy knowing that I'm doing everything that I can possibly do to provide those opportunities to folks. Hope everyone enjoy their day. My good friend Junior as well. You know what? I'd like to get over here. Let me throw over here just real quick. I'd love to throw a wrench at Junior. I'm going to throw a wrench at Junior if I can find him real quick. Where's Junior at? Hubba bubba. There he is. Oh, he's already got one. Fantastic. Very cool. Cruise up here. Man, there's a lot of comments in here, guys. Marie, Minds in Motion, man. I just appreciate your support. You're so freaking awesome. It's not even funny. Another one of my featured channels, man. Just an awesome lady, man, who has started YouTube. And I don't think she does YouTube for a living either. It's kind of like me, which is cool. I like seeing these everyday people, man, who just want to come on and share their freaking message. And you know, if you like Marie's message and it encourages you to invest, I'm all about that, right? If you need to hear it from some of these other folks, that's great, because we've got a bunch of these channel creators out there motivating people to maybe take a look-see, and Marie's one of them. So Minds in Motion, I call her Eminem because that's just what she is, man. It's very cool, and just doing a great job, man. Hustle and try to build her project up. Glad to support. Ryan K, just checking in. Pandemic life has been busy for sure. Usually catching the live stream after the fact. Fantastic. Well, welcome to the real deal. I just called you out on the real show. This does work very well for a lot of people after the fact. I can't accommodate everybody around the world. My ability to accommodate around the world, the last Zoom meeting I did was with someone in Poland. So yeah, connecting the world, baby. That's what we're doing. We got less than 10 minutes, man. I'm going to devote to the comments for sure. There it is. So our children can breathe fresh air. Man, what a freaking awesome point. And I'm not really big on like, going green and just giving up the entire business sense of the world, right? However, it's kind of dumb to sit there and say that we can't try to tackle the number one polluter in this world, which is the Freightliner, which Hyliion is going after, right? Which Tesla is going after, which Nikola even is going after. And the technology's there, man. We just got to get the adoption, and we may be a little premature on that. Okay. I just think some of these companies need to warm up to the fact, and if regulation doesn't do it, good products will do it. And I think the dominoes will fall shortly after. Very cool. Cream dividends, agree. Still holding several shares at 1860. Yeah, I mean, it's shoot. Listen, I mean, it's easy to hold at 1860. I wouldn't have bought the stock at 50. I didn't. I bought it initially. I made one ill-fated block of share buy at like 31. So my average is about $21 cost basis on the share. So, whatever. That's good. Get a fairly decent entry on the stock, and we'll continue to hold. Like I said, the short term 20 bits off 50, whatever, it doesn't really play into my short term thesis at all. It doesn't really, it doesn't play into it. So I'd like to be a stakeholder in this company and see what good things they've got going forward. So trying to cherry pick the questions here, guys. Holding long will result in greater returns. So that's wise right there. Seems impossible to swing trade. Greatest moves happen after pre-market. Yeah, I've watched that. I've been encouraged by the aftermarket action on the stock. That's totally fine. I'm so stoked to own this company. It's not even funny. I was stoked to own it at 50. I was stoked to own it at 17. I just really don't care. And I hope if there's anything that you guys get out of this, it's the ability to identify what your goal is, identify why, and identify that short-term volatility in any stock or the stock market should not play into your long-term thesis at all. I use the word irrelevant. It is. And whatever your definition of irrelevant is, mine is, it does not matter. That's the way I feel about it. And I'm trying to provide that, not to be a smartass. I'm just telling you so it'll help you. That's what I'm telling you. It's the God's honest truth. I'm trying to help you. Okay. If you have unrealistic expectations about a high growth, Very few SPACs have come public and actually made it through merger at this point. Jay's probably got a count. I do not. I don't keep track of that stuff, nor do I really care. My companies that I want to invest in, I'm already invested in them. I'm happy. I'm just as happy to invest in Hyliion today as I will be next week, and I was a month ago. I really was. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. And you can trust me, guys. If it goes down, it's going to hurt. If it goes up, I'm certainly not going to come onto YouTube and be making Hyliion videos every day just to boost my channel. I'm not going to do that. I've made three. I think it's the biggest position of my holding right now. So it's interesting enough, and people are interested in it, but to keep it in perspective, if I do end up making a fortune, I'm certainly not going to come onto YouTube and put a skirt on and dance for you guys. I'm not going to do it. It'd be kind of interesting, actually. I don't know. I'll think of something. You guys think of something, man. If this sucker breaks 100, I'll do something. But you guys got to give me the idea. All right. You got to give me the idea. I'll do it. If it breaks 100, which it will eventually, it will. And I'll hold till then and maybe beyond. I'm actually thinking about going big on this sucker. Ryan's the man. I am the man. I am a man. I am here to deliver a very simple message to beginning investors and experienced investors alike. But I appreciate that. Mike, the SPAC hunter in the house. Very, very cool. You guys keep us honest on this deal, man. SPACs have been around a long, long time, but 2020 has been the year of the SPAC, no doubt about it. And for me, I just think it gives an interesting opportunity to retail investors. The problem is, and what I've learned is, if you've ever played blackjack and sat at the table and you know for a fact that you're the only one that knows how to play blackjack, that's kind of how I think SPAC investing is. Like these good companies and these good ideas, nothing changes with the companies. It's the other assholes that I'm investing with that I have a problem with. Like selling after 2 days of shit news and they exit the position. It's just stupid. Like don't invest at all if you're like expecting the stock to make millions for you and then your Ferrari float out of the sky and end up in your driveway. It's just stupid. Okay. It's no way to invest. Get out of my wheelhouse, please. Get out of the way. And they will. Weak hands will be shaken out, man, and the real investors will stick around and make money. And we won't toot our own horn for it. We just know how to do this gig. It's not that difficult. Jesus, man, it just takes some freaking discipline. That's all. Invest like a freaking machine. All right. Stop trying to use emotional content in the stock market. The stock market does not care how you feel. It doesn't. There is no emotion in investing. I wish I was the one that coined that phrase, but I absolutely was not. But it is the absolute God's honest truth. All right. March crash made many people a lot of money. I was buying into the strength. Not my first rodeo. I was buying into the strength. I was totally fine. I'm up nicely. Established a third brokerage account out of that whole chaos. So yeah, I'd rather see a nice stable market. I'd rather see our debt situation get under control. But yeah, you're right. There was a lot of people that probably lost their ass too. So it's really tough. We do the best we can to try to teach people about discipline. You don't need big money to be successful. Only consistency and income growth in time will take care of itself. It's a smart comment, man. I agree with you, Eric. Very cool. It's Moki Finances in the house, man. Very cool, very cool. Now the YouTube content creator. Shout out to you, Moki. Very cool. Thanks for coming on, my man. Very cool. We're almost driving down to the 60 minutes, and I don't want to cut into the gents' time. I will be over there. I need about 5 to 10 minutes, so it takes me a little bit to get over there and say hello. But I want to encourage you guys to help these guys out too. Matt and Kyle, they're hustling, man. They're trying to build their project as well. I think it's working out for them. Every single week, it gets a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. They give a lot different, more entertaining dialogue than I give, that's for sure. But they do a good job, man. And hell, I'm not asking them to do something I didn't do myself. When I used to start doing this, I'd have 6 subscribers or 6 people viewing the live stream, and I didn't care. I delivered it like a rock concert, just like I'm doing now. I don't really care, because those 6 lives, man, if we can empower one of them, I'm all about it. And good on you for taking your time and making your way in to the live stream. Guys, I hope you appreciated the message tonight. It was one-on-one, me and you guys. I didn't get to all the comments. Leave them early next Friday, man. All right. I just ask that you come in, leave those comments. I put it up on Wednesday. So if you can put those comments in there early, that'd be awesome. That'll help me get through and work the comments. I always offer the guest opportunity. If you want to be a guest, it's an open invitation, man. I can only provide the opportunity and open the door for you. You're the one that has to walk through it, guys. So with that, we're going to go ahead and sign off, and we're going to kick over and help support those other folks on the other channel, guys. Be well, be safe. We'll catch you next Friday on the Independent Investor Channel live stream, guys. Be well and take it easy.